Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your August 2022 love reading. Thank to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is we'll look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and the main love interest. And then we'll pull some oracle cards for some additional insight after the bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Cosmic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's general reading, so while I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left is your energy and the cards on the right is the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side. We have Transformation, which is the equivalent of the Death card, Scorpio energy there. And Two of Coins, Capricorn energy. So, could just be saying that the connection between the two of you might have been a bit of an on again, off again dynamic, and possibly because your feelings would run hot and cold. And for some of you, you might have decided that in the past you might have felt like you were better off just leaving the connection behind. But yeah, could just be one of those things. One day you wake up feeling one way, another day you feel differently, right? Because if we look at those two coins, we see one heart is red, and then the other one looks like it's grayed out, almost like an icy type vibe. And then the story of Pluto. Persephone is basically an on again, off again dynamic too, so could just be pointing to that. Past energy on their side. We have the Princess of Swords, which is the equivalent of the Page of Swords, and the Empress. So yeah, could just be saying, actually, funny enough, if we just look at the artwork between these two cards, this almost looks like a hot and cold type energy too, right? So they might have been on a similar page as far as, on the one hand, not necessarily being open and expressive towards you, but on the other hand, maybe at times they would be, right? I feel like, if anything else, though, this combination could also say that they might have wanted you to do the majority of the work within the connection. All right, present energy on your side, we have the Four of Arrows. So this is Libra energy here. Could just be saying that you're doing some healing around the situation, right? We see the three arrows together up there, and then we see the one by itself, and it's actually pointed in the direction of the cards on the other side. So could just be saying maybe you're thinking of communicating to them again after going through a little bit of healing around the situation. And this Libra energy for you guys is 12th house too, so could have just been a lot of thinking around what you wanted to do regarding the connection. Present energy on their side, we have the Two of Swords, so Libra energy on their side as well. And Two of Swords energy is a bit of a unbalanced energy as far as you're looking at two different pathways usually, right? So again, just like what you might have been doing with the Two of Coins in the past, them evaluating, do I want to continue with this connection or not, right? So it does look like they're alone at this time, but they're trying to figure out if they want to proceed with the connection. All right, future energy on your side, we have the Eight of Coins. So this is Virgo energy here. I can see this going one of two ways. Could just be saying that you guys are just putting more focus toward your career. And I do have to say, for some of you, that might have even been part of why there would be separations between the two of you. Maybe you would have to travel for your career, for example, something along those lines. But could just be saying that for some of you, or for others, you could just be saying that you will be attempting to put more work toward building a connection into something more stable. And if so, that timeline-wise, it could just be saying that as we get into the start of Virgo season, that might be when you shift into that energy. Right, future energy on their side, we have the Ten of Swords. This is Gemini energy here, and could just be saying that from their perspective, they might feel like the connection is already over, right? So, like I said, if this was an on again, off again dynamic between the two of you, and if there was separation right now, they might just be under the impression that, okay, the connection is probably over, right? Or if they just feel like it's that constant back and forth, they might decide that they just don't want to deal with that dynamic anymore, right? Like I said, because there definitely could have been an on again, off again dynamic between you, and they might decide, especially with that Empress energy, they might decide that they just want something a little bit more stable and consistent. bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Queen of Arrows. So this is Libra energy here. And yeah, so it could just be saying that underneath it all, you do still have a certain level of desire for this person, right? To connect with this person, but I feel like you're just more or less waiting for them to come forward. Because if we look at her body language there, she's looking over in that direction, right? But at the same time, she's not taking action necessarily. She's holding on to an arrow pointing in that direction too. There's a bird, which is another symbol of communication. So I feel like for some of you might desire to reach out and communicate to them. I feel like in a way you could just be waiting for them to reach out first. All right, bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Six of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here. And yeah, could just be saying that they're just looking for calmer waters, right? So like I said, if this was just a connection that seemed a bit volatile as far as one day you guys are into each other, the next day you're not, right? This person just might be on the page of looking for something more consistent and reliable. And interestingly enough, beneath that, they have the Two of Cups. So yeah, could just be one of those things where maybe it worked out for you guys in the past if it was an on again, off again dynamic, but now they could just be looking for something that's a bit more consistent at this point. But we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see what we get from the Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck before I started recording, and what I'm looking for here is unspoken messages from you to them and from them to you. And I'll be looking for jumpers initially, but if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I actually just put the deck down and pull cards that way. So let's see what we get. Alright, so nothing's coming up, so what I'll do is I'll put the deck down. And just give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll just pull a card. Alright, we'll take this one here. And next we'll see what we get from them to you. Almost have one there. Alright, and we got one. Okay, so let me see what came up on your side first, as I make an absolute mess over here. But let's see. We have broken. It says the damage has already been done and I don't know how to pick the pieces up. So yeah, like I said, it definitely looked like an on again, off again cycle. Although, in a way, it looked like that might have actually worked for the two of you in the past. But looking at that Ten of Swords energy we see on the future on their side, I can see where you could definitely feel that way, you know, because like I said, it seems like they seem to think it's over too. Possibly because they're looking for a little bit more consistency in the connection, but we'll see what they got on their side. Okay. We have thoughts. It says, I've been in my head about you constantly. So, to be fair, that is possibly another way that the Ten of Swords energy could be coming up for them, which is to just say they just have these overwhelming thoughts about you, right? And then feeling like there's nothing really improving between the two of you as well. So, I suppose that's another way we could look at that. All right, and lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffle this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice to wrap the reading up with. Almost have one there. All right, and that doesn't want to go back in the deck. So let's see what you got. Right, we have poised. There's the artwork, and the number is 48. Okay, the relationship message says when you're confident and happy in your own skin, you are ready for deeper, more intimate relationships. You have nothing to prove right now. You are completely yourself and can handle anything. Love, friendships, and harmonious new connections are all present now or are coming in. You're ready to give and receive an heart. This is a beautiful place to be. It's an interesting message there. Like I said, this person, it just seems like they feel, well, initially I was getting the energy that they were feeling like they want something more consistent, so they might just feel from their perspective the connection might be over and they're looking for a bit more balance. But then, like I said, that card made it seem like, okay, it could just be saying that they're just thinking about you constantly and it's driving them a little bit nuts. But as far as the poised energy, I don't know. It doesn't like, well, I will say in the present, you guys both had that Libra energy, which is a bit more balanced. But I would say if you were planning on reaching out to this person, just be on the lookout for the time of the Aquarius full moon. I wouldn't necessarily have any important conversations around that time because that's going to be pretty intense energy and it's going to impact fixed energies quite a bit too. So you guys might feel that one a little more than most too. But hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.